All right, today we're diving into something pretty amazing, the tech revolution that's completely changing animal healthcare. I'm talking about everything from the food on our tables to the pets in our living rooms. Tech is reshaping how we look after animals, so let's get right into it. So, think about your last trip to the vet. Have you noticed things are different? Maybe you've seen some new high-tech tools, or maybe you've even had a virtual appointment from your couch. Well, these aren't just one-off upgrades. They're actually signs of a huge global shift in how veterinary medicine works. So you gotta ask, what's really driving all this change? It turns out the answer is way bigger than just better care for our pets. We're talking about massive global pressures, things that affect our food supply, our environment, and yeah, even our own health. And technology? It's quickly becoming one of the most critical tools we have to solve these problems. Okay, let's break this down. Picture this. By 2050, the world's population is expected to hit almost 10 billion people. To feed everyone, we need to boost food production by a staggering 70%. At the exact same time, we're dealing with bigger risks from animal diseases, and we have fewer natural resources to work with. I mean, these are huge challenges, right? And they demand a much smarter, way more efficient approach to animal health. So, how do we tackle these huge, tangled problems? The answer, it turns out, is data. And I mean massive amounts of it. By gathering and making sense of all this information in totally new ways, the animal health world is discovering solutions that, honestly, we couldn't have even imagined just a little while ago. And this really helps to visualize how it all fits together. You can think of it like this. Big data is the fuel, just this enormous ocean of information coming from everywhere. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the engine that runs on that fuel. And machine learning? That's a key part of the engine that's constantly learning from all that data, spotting patterns, and making predictions. Now, to get a little more specific, when people talk about big data, you'll often hear about the 3 V's. First, there's volume. That's just the sheer amount of data we're talking about. It's huge. Then you have variety, which means the data comes in all shapes and sizes, from neat lab results to messy social media posts. And finally, velocity. And that's the insane speed at which this data is being created and analyzed, a lot of the time in real time. Okay, so that's the big 30,000-foot view, but let's zoom all the way in. Let's bring it right back home to your local vet's office. How are all these powerful technologies actually changing the way your cat or your dog gets treated? Well, we're really seeing 3 big things become the new normal. Number 1, AI is helping vets diagnose problems faster and more accurately. Number 2, virtual consults are making expert advice way more accessible. And number 3, wearable tech is giving us a constant 24/7 stream of health data. So let's dig into AI for a second. It's basically becoming an incredible assistant for your vet. We're talking about AI that can look at an X-ray or a blood test and spot things a human eye might miss. It can even listen in on a conversation between the vet and a pet owner and just automatically write up the medical notes. This is a huge time saver, and it lets the vet focus on the most important thing, your pet. And then there's telemedicine, or virtual care. This is another total game changer. For pet owners who live far away or have a tough time traveling, it's an absolute lifeline. If there's an emergency, it can give you that crucial first advice right away. And for the vets, it helps them actually get paid for all the time they spend on phone calls and emails, while all that info gets logged right into the pet's online health record. Super efficient. All right. And what about wearables? It's basically like a Fitbit for your dog. These smart collars can track everything: heart rate, activity, sleep patterns, all day, every day. Some of the more advanced ones can even monitor glucose levels or pick up on tiny changes that might signal something like a seizure. And the best part? All that data goes straight to the vet. But, and this is a really important but, all this incredible data is a tool. It's not a replacement for the vet. As Dr. Kiri Riddick puts it, this tech is an extension of a vet's care. There's just no substitute for a real, hands-on physical exam where a vet can actually feel for what's wrong and get a true sense of a pet's health. So, okay, we've talked about the data, we've talked about the gadgets, but have you ever stopped to wonder, what are these amazing new sensors and healing materials actually made of? Well, now we're going to peel back another layer and get into the incredible science that makes all of this possible. So, what is this magic stuff? When you hear about advanced biosensors or materials that can literally help the body heal itself, what are we talking about? Well, a lot of the time, the answer is a really cool class of materials. They're called hydrogels.
And what they are, basically, is a 3D web of polymers that is just fantastic at soaking up and holding onto water. Because of that, they get this soft, squishy texture that's a lot like our own body's tissues. And that, right there, is what makes them so perfect for using in medicine.
And if you want to know just how big of a deal this is, get a load of this number. Almost 97,000 patents, all related to hydrogels. I mean, let's be clear, this isn't some tiny niche corner of science anymore. This is a tidal wave of innovation that's washing over the entire medical field. And what's even crazier, look at this chart. Almost 75% of those patents are for brand new uses. That tells you this field isn't just sitting still. It's in a period of explosive growth. The coolest stuff? It hasn't even been invented yet. And this isn't just happening in one place. It's a worldwide phenomenon. The US and China are definitely out in front, but really it's a global race to create the next generation of these biomaterials. And that competition, that's what's going to make things cheaper and faster and ultimately get these amazing new tools into your local vet clinic. Now, of course, not all hydrogels are created equal. Scientists really work with two main flavors. You've got your natural ones, think stuff derived from collagen. They're great because the body recognizes them, but they can be a little weak. Then you have synthetic ones, cooked up in a lab. They're super strong and stable, but they don't have those natural signals that tell the body how to heal. The real magic, the real innovation, happens when scientists figure out how to blend the best of both worlds. Okay, so we've looked at the big global drivers, we've peeked inside the vet clinic of the future, and we've even dived into the material science that's powering it all. So let's pull it all back together now and ask the million-dollar question. What does all of this really mean for our animals? Really, the biggest change is this. We're shifting from reactive care to proactive care. Think about it. For generations, the model has been your pet gets sick, you take them to the vet, that's reacting. Now, with all this constant data from wearables, vets can see a problem brewing long before it gets serious. That's being proactive. Care isn't just something that happens in the clinic anymore. It's a connected, 24/7 partnership between you, your vet, and your pet. And this all leads to a really fascinating question to think about. As technology gives us more and more data, and as AI gets smarter and smarter at reading it, what does that mean for a vet's own intuition? That gut feeling that comes from years of experience. Where does that fit in? It's a big question, and I think we're all going to find out the answer together. Thanks for joining me.